Q, for the third time in his career, Aaron Donald wins Defensive Player of the Year, won in 2017 and 2018. Tied for the most with Lawrence Taylor and J.J. Watt. Aaron Donald had an NFL-high 98 pressures this season, 21 more than any other player, 13.5 sacks, 20 tackles for a loss this season, 4 forced fumbles this season. Aaron Donald continues to dominate the National Football League. Back here with Ryan Wilson, no surprise, maybe a little bit of surprise outside of Pittsburgh, because certainly T.J. Watt made a case for Defensive Player of the Year, but Aaron Donald continues to dominate. What's your reaction? It's Aaron Donald over T.J. Watt.
Not a surprise that it's Aaron Donald because he's Aaron Donald, but I was wondering if T.J. Watt would get in. You mentioned that T.J.'s brother J.J. had won 3. It looked like T.J. may have a chance to win. His first one didn't happen because Aaron Donald is that incredibly good. You read the stats for Aaron Donald. Second in sacks, second in tackles for loss. T.J. Watt was first in both those categories, but T.J. Watt plays edge rusher. Aaron Donald plays on the inside, and he's racking up these kind of numbers. You mentioned the pressures as well. We see them right there. 22 ahead of Shaq Barrett, who has had a really good season this year, came off an even better season in 2019, and then you see T.J. Watt just behind Shaq Barrett. I don't know the actual vote count. I would imagine it's pretty close. T.J. Watt had a fantastic season for that defense, but you could argue that Aaron Donald had just as important a season for the Rams defense. He took care of everything up front, allowed Jalen Ramsey and that secondary, that young secondary, to do their thing on the back end, and it's not a surprise to me that Aaron Donald won it. It would have been perhaps a slightly more exciting story for T.J. Watt, just something different, but Aaron Donald, you know, we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame a little bit. I would imagine at some point will end up in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I feel like almost, though, that T.J. Watt gets, he kind of gets snubbed here. You said it perfectly. Led the league in sacks, tackles for loss, and it's the guy that finishes second that wins the award. Does this come down to, okay, name recognition, that Aaron Donald won this award twice before, that we'll just give him his third one?
No, that's a great question, and I would be interested to see how the vote actually breaks down, because here's T.J. Watt's numbers again, just to reiterate how dominant he was this year, first in every category, but then we have Aaron Donald doing it from the interior. And he requires double teams every time the ball is snapped. Aaron Donald does. T.J. Watt would sometimes get one-on-ones, and he would win those one-on-ones. But Aaron Donald is a special player, and perhaps some of that is legacy in terms of him winning it the third time. A lot of it is production, and it's not like he slacked off this year and was just gifted this Defensive Player of the Year award. He earned it. And he earned it on a defense that was one of the best in the NFL. Well,
he was a Defensive Rookie of the Year out of Pitt, now a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year in Aaron Donald. Now, I want to ask you this because it's kind of exciting in terms of what's happening with the Rams. Now they have Matthew Stafford. Now you got Matthew Stafford and you have Aaron Donald leading the defense, Matthew Stafford leading the offense. This team could be right back in the Super Bowl this time next year.
Right, and that certainly was the thinking by Leslie, the GM, and Sean McVay, the head coach. Let's get us a quarterback we can fix, and that's basically what Sean McVay is saying. And if Sean McVay feels like he can work with Matthew Stafford, who might be 32 years old but is still playing at a high level, that's less concern for the defense to have to carry that load. Brandon Staley, the defensive coordinator, who did a great job in year 1, is now the new coach for the Chargers. I don't think there will be a drop-off because, as we talk about, hey, the Defensive Player of the Year is still there. Jalen Ramsey is still there in the back end. They have so many young athletic players at all levels of that defense, and not having to feel like you need to pick up the slack for an offense that sputters at times like he did with Jared Goff will make things even easier for them in terms of competing in one of the best divisions in football.
It'll be interesting to see how Matthew Stafford plays along here with the defense, because it'll be like, get off the field, get me back on the field, let's go score some more points with Aaron Donald as he wins his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year award in his Hall of Fame career. We can already go ahead and anoint him as a Hall of Famer. He's that stinking good. All right, speaking of guys that are good, B-Mac, 2-time Super Bowl champ, joined by Cardinals corner Patrick Peterson on All Things Covered. Their latest guest, Bucs linebacker Lavonte David, tells a hilarious story about what Tom Brady said to a team after the NFC Championship. If you haven't heard, you got to go and listen to it right now. All Things Covered. Download and subscribe today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.